today's webinar will be on data analysis, and here we will be doing data analysis with the help of one data set, and we'll try to understand why data analysis is important, what kind of things we should extract from the given data. So this will be the agenda for this webinar. So before starting the webinar, make sure you put down all the questions, all the information you needed in a QA section, right? And make sure to interact in this session because this session has to be interactive, right? Okay, so on that note, let's start. So the first question will be, what is your understanding on data analysis? Can anyone tell me? If you feel you want to speak, you can speak as well. Okay, getting insights from data. So Prashad is telling getting insights from data. Okay. Okay, so Paras is telling data analysis is understanding what type of data we have. Vivek Vedda is telling understanding the feature. Okay. Yes, so basically whatever answers I got to analyze the trend between the features, Sindhuja is telling this. Right, so almost everyone has a clear-cut idea what is a data analysis. So as said, getting insights from the data, understanding that what type of data we have, understanding the feature, right, and understanding the trend. So basically this is called as data analysis, right? So since data analytics, if I say a broad definition, right, data analytics falls under data analytics domain. So basically the people who work as a data analyst or who specifically works on the data analysis part, their main aim is to get the best insights from the data, right? And suggest, basically put that data to the business team in such a way that business team can take certain decision, right? However, data analysis with respect to data science is what considered as getting the best insights from the data so that it can help us in getting a better model that indirectly tells about basically better feature selection technique or selecting a better feature and doing the best data pre-processing required for the data set, right? Apart from this, these are the technical aspects of data analysis in data science. Apart from that, data scientist has not only to create a model, they need to suggest business what should be done, right? So basically after model creation has been done, we have given the model, we have given the APIs to the business team, right? So they will be basically, let's say a application, right? And the application has been developed for a marketing team who wants to know when a newly launched product will be purchased by the customers or not. So basically they want to know the sentiments of this product, how, whether they will buy it, not buy it, right? So in that case, what we can do as a data scientist, we can deploy a machine learning model over there, which will predict, right, whether the customer will buy or not buy the product, right? But what is the use of this particular thing? So it will help business, as when I say business, here my business team is marketing team. So it will help marketing team to do target marketing, to target that customers who are really interested in basically buying that product, in turn increasing the revenue of the company, right? So this is what a data science application is all about, and in between how data analysis plays a role over here. All right, so we'll start with the Python implementation. We will take a small data set, right? And we will try to understand what should be the steps you should take to analyze a certain data. So the technique which I will be using today, it's not a what we can say as a you can take it as a thumb rule. No, you can have your own techniques to analyze the data. The target of data analysis should be getting the best insights or the trend from the data, right? So on that note, let's start. So I'll share the drive link from where you can download the material, okay, the data set, and basically the IPython notebook, which I have already created, right? So in that you can also start adding the points as well, right? So it is just a layman notebook, very basic notebook. We will add more points in that notebook. Okay, so quickly go to the drive link and download the data and the file. Once done, please confirm. Till that time, once you download the drives, right? If you have any questions, please put it, right? So like, yeah, if you have any doubts, let me know. Okay, let's start. Now see here, this file is very basic file, right? Nothing is there. You won't understand anything there. How to know that the insight we got are correct, right? So Vivek, basically see, first we need to understand what data we have, right? After getting the data, you have to understand the features and you have to do the domain analysis, right? So simply understanding the data will never help you. First you need to understand the domain, right? Okay, so let me import this data. Okay, now see here, I have certain inputs over here or certain columns of the data frame. I hope everyone here who has joined the call has basic knowledge of pandas, right? Because pandas and basically matplotlib and seaborn library, because I'll be using the 3 libraries only. Apart from that, I won't be using anything, right? Okay, so see here, in this particular data set, I have certain features over here. What are those features? These features are date, time, right? So basically I have certain date and time here. Then I have a temperature, dew point temperature, that is underscore C represents Celsius. Okay, so I have done this analysis, so that's why I'm able to tell you. Okay, and I'll tell you how usually I do the analysis. Then rel humi is basically, it is a relative humidity expressed in terms of percentage. Okay, then we have wind speed, that is captured in terms of kilometers per hour. Then visibility, then pressure, and these are the units, right? Visibility has a unit of kilometers, pressure has a unit of kilopascal, right? And based on that, we need to predict the weather, right? So ultimately here, the task which, so basically whenever we start a data analysis, we should have certain target set in our mind. Okay, the target which I'm saying, it's not a target variable, the target of data analysis here. So let's write the task which we have to perform. Okay, so task is basically analyze the features in such a way that it can help in getting help in understanding the weather trend. Right. So this is the task which I have to perform here. What is that? It says that, okay, analyze the feature in such a way that it can help in understanding the weather trend. Right. If you see here, I have another variable which captures based on these parameters, right? Captured on this time on date. This was the weather condition. So we have to understand what was the weather trend with certain level of temperature, dew point temperature, humidity, wind speed, visibility, etc. are has certain value. So we have to analyze what kind of weather it will be, right? So this is basically, this is a task which we have to perform. For that, we have imported the data, right? Till this time, till this point, anyone having any questions that what we are doing right now? So the task is clear. All right. How about others? Right. Now the task is clear. Now we have data. So how basically Vivek's question was that whatever domain we want to do, right? Means whatever data analysis we are doing, is it correct or not correct? So how do you understand? Once you understand this particular feature, right? This particular feature, then only you can tell the data analysis what you are doing is correct or not, right? So understanding the features or domain analysis. So let's get started with the domain analysis, right? So when I say domain analysis, I'm just want to know what are these particular features and how they can impact the weather, right? So everyone just open another tab in Google, right? And let's start with the domain analysis. So when we are in the learning stage, right? And yeah, so that time Google can help you a lot in understanding the domain. There are lots of paper, when once it comes for the any kind of analysis we do, we can find so much of a lot of content in internet itself, that you did not know, you need not to worry about the domain analysis. Okay, so when you are practicing by yourself, that time basically always take a reference of Google, try to read multiple articles on the same line. And once we start working as a data scientist, so if you ask me, my client gives me the domain knowledge, they completely shares me the every information about the domain they work, right? And then I have to write down my own insights from that. So this is how in real time it works. Right, let's get started. So if you see the first column, right? So data dot columns I'm calling, right? This particular attribute helps me in getting the column's name in the given data frame, right? So if you see here, I have date time column. The first column is date time column. So it is capturing basically the date and time, right? So this, if you look carefully, the data has been captured in a hourly, in each hour of the day, the data has been captured. Means the temperature was recorded, the dew point was recorded, relative humidity was recorded, wind speed, visibility, pressure, and weather was checked, right? So every hour we are checking data here, right? So this is what a date time parameter means here. Now we have temperature. So temperature, as we know, what is the temperature? I need not to explain you what does a temperature means, right? So basically it tells about the degree of hotness, right? And the temperature collected at a timestamp in Celsius. So basically the scale here that has been used, or the unit that has been used, is a degree Celsius. So minus 1.8, minus 1.8, minus 1.5. So these are the temperatures and they are recorded in a degree Celsius, right? Then we have dew point temperature. So it says that dew point temperature is that temperature below which the water vapor is a volume of air at a constant pressure will condense into the liquid, right? So basically, how did I got this definition, right? So what I did, I went to Google, right? And then simply I write what is dew point temperature, right? And see here, so many information came. The first point itself came on the Wikipedia. So now what you have to do, go here to the Wikipedia site, okay, and just try to read the article. I think within this parameter itself, we can understand what does the dew point means. Okay, now I'll give you chance to read through this particular paragraph, and can you summarize what will be the dew point in a very short sentence? Level of moisture in the air. Okay, so but temperature is negative, which is not possible. Why temperature negative is not possible? Just check in the Google. There are certain places on earth which are getting recorded with the negative temperatures as well. Vapor becomes water, correct? Right. So dew point, as I got answers from multiple people, it is a temperature at which vapor becomes water, right? So this is what only it has been written here, right? So now you understood what is that particular temperature that has been recorded here. Dew point temperature at which basically the vapor is getting converted into water, right? So this is a dew temperature here, right? The next is basically relative humidity. Okay, so let's read what is relative humidity. So it is the amount of water vapor present in air. Okay, it is the amount of water vapor present in the air, right, expressed as a percentage, right? So I hope you got the idea of relative humidity, right? So humidity is nothing but the moisture in the air, and when it comes to the relative humidity, it is expressed in terms of basically percentage of amount needed to achieve saturation at the same temperature. Basically, saturation is that condition where water starts boiling. So it is that particular variable, right? Okay, then we have wind speed, right? So wind speed, it is clear that how fast the air is moving. Okay, then visibility means when this particular situation was happening, till till what distance human can see clearly. So that is called as visibility. Then we have pressure here. So pressure, it says that it refers to the weight of air, right? High pressure means the air is heavy and it sinks. Sinking air makes the environment very stable. Under high pressure, you can generally expect sunny skies and calm weather. Low pressure is what is the causes active weather. So you can have basically when the pressure is high, it's telling mostly you will have a sunshine, right? And it will be a good weather. But if the pressure drops, right, may possible you can get some wind, you can get certain kind of other weather conditions, right? And so basically the last feature is weather. Based on the given feature, what is the type of weather? So once these conditions are reached, what is the weather here? So if you see here, when the temperature was minus 1.8, minus 3.9, 86, 4, 8.0, and 101.24 is the pressure, that time the weather was fog. Now look here, certain change in the relative humidity happened here, as well as in the dew point happened, and in the visibility also decreased here. Wind speed increased, right? And see here, pressure remains the same. What weather condition we got? Freezing, drizzle, and fog. So earlier fog continued, but we got another activity in the weather. Okay, so this is how this particularly the features are impacting the weather condition, right? So this is what we call as a domain analysis, right? Now task for you will be, right, okay, I just gave you the definition of this, right? Now you need to figure it out, right, how this temperature, how this dew temperature can affect the weather. So this is a simple understanding on the feature. The next task will be how this features impacts the weather condition to change. Okay, so let's do that. So I want answers from everyone. So let's go ahead and see. Okay, so first is the temperature. Okay, just do the little search and see temperature increase, decrease, what kind of basically temperature can impact the weather, right? So how I'll write this, what is impact? So this is just what we can say, this is how I usually do everything. Means what? The first question comes in my mind is what, right? Now what is the impact of temperature on, let's say, weather? It can be vast, right? So higher temperature means the heat waves are likely to happen more often and last longer. Warmer temperature can also lead to a chain of reaction and other changes around the world. That's because increasing air temperature also affects the ocean weather, snow, right? So let's read this. How does temperature affects weather? Okay. So it's not like you should read this one. You can check on this as well, right? See here, so many things which we are looking right now. We are working specifically in the weather domain, right? So see here, almost our every questions are getting answered, will be answered by this particular website. Okay. Okay, so higher the temperature means the heat waves are likely to happen more often and last longer. Warmer temperature can lead, that's because the air temperature. Okay. How does temperature determine the weather? The first of these air mass factors that determine weather temperature. Temperature is the amount of heat contained in the object. The amount of heat in the air determines speeds of molecule. So it is telling that if temperature can also decide the speed of the molecule, that is basically the speed of air. More the heat, the faster molecules move, rising the temperature. Okay, so basically it's trying to say that if we have higher temperature will have warmer weathers. If we have lower temperature, basically it will be a cold weather. Okay. How does temperature affect the environment? What factors affect? Now see how temperature affects the humidity. As temperature increases, air can hold more water molecule and its relative humidity decreases, right? And our data which we have captured here, we can see the data has been captured in a negative terms, right? So basically we have colder temperature. So that means relative humidity will be lesser. Right. What does a temperature increases day by day? Okay. What are the 4 factors affect the temperature? Right. Okay. Now, from doing little bit understanding of these questions, I found it that, okay, if I have lesser temperature, my weather will be mostly towards the cold side, right? If you see here, fog weather, freezing drizzle, right? All I can see over here, right? Okay. So did you find anything related to the temperature? I want you guys to also put, this was my observation. Can you put your observation or your analysis as well? If the temperature is less, the climate will be cold, correct? With the high temperature, humidity is also high, correct? Yes, Mohammed Vivek, correct. Hmm. With high temperature, humidity is also high. When temperature drops, relative humidity increases. Okay. If temperature will reduce, the weather is cold, correct? Means it will have most of the what we can say as a weather condition which occurs in a cold temperature. All right. If you have high temperature, your climate will be hot, correct? Right. Now similarly, let's go ahead and do for the dew point, right? So I'll just change the word here. Now what is the impact of dew temperature on weather? Okay, so it says that if the air were cooled even more, water vapor would have to come out of atmosphere in a liquid form. That means there will be a foggy weather or there will be a precipitation. Precipitation means basically the rainfall. Okay, so I got multiple questions on the authentication of sites. Okay, so usually see here, whenever we do any Google search, mostly the things which comes in first, Wikipedia is always there, right? But mostly if you see here the sites which are coming, which are weather.gov, right? So it is some company or some portal which works for the government sites, right? So you can think of that the site is basically authenticate. Similarly, see here weather.government, right? So when you have this kind of sites or the first search which come here, usually that is taken as a authentic sites, okay, authentic source of information. Okay. Now I hope the doubt of basically the information which we are collecting is clear. How to understand whether the insights or whether the understanding you are taking is correct or not. All right. Right. So let's understand the dew point. Right. So basically, it says that if due temperature, okay, so dew temperature says that the higher the dew point rises, the greater the amount of moisture in the air. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, higher the dew point temperature, greater the amount of water vapor present in the cloud, smaller the difference between the temperature and the dew point temperature, higher is the relative humidity. The closer the atmosphere to a state in which water vapor would condense. So basically, it's trying to say that if this temperature has a minimum difference, or the difference between these two temperature is less, your relative humidity will increase, and increase in relative humidity will cause precipitation, right? So this is a relationship here. Right. So can you correct me if the conclusion I have drawn is correct or not? And side by side, we have to write it down as well, right? I forgot to write. So I would like write to, okay, if temperature is less, the climate will be cold. Okay, and then few more points. With high temperature, humidity is also high. Okay, so see, I'm just copy pasting from the chat which people have sent me. That's all I'm doing it. Okay, so you can also write it down. And when the temperature drops, relative humidity also increases. Okay, if the temperature will reduce, the weather is cold. Dew point is independent of ambient temperature. Okay, right. So this is the conclusion which we can make about the temperature. Now, the second thing which we have done is basically for the dew point temperature. Okay, so what we said for the dew point temperature, that if the difference in the temperature, right, and the dew point temperature is less, it will increase humidity, right? If oops, the difference in normal temperature and dew point temp is small, relative humidity will increase and weather will be foggy. Sorry, it will be rainfall. So weather will be rainy. So weather may be rainy. Okay. So this is what I concluded, right? Everyone, can you confirm the conclusion which I had made by reading this is correct? So those who have joined, right, I hope you are also doing the same thing. Okay. Now let's check on the, so relative humidity, we have done it, right? Okay. Let's check let's check basically wind speed and the weather. Okay. So let's say, let me remove this. What is, okay, so what is impact of wind speed on weather? Let's see this. Wind speed and direction are important for monitoring and predicting weather patterns and global climate. Wind speed and direction have numerous impact on surface water. This parameter affects the rate of evaporation, right? Mixing of surface water and the development of okay, so let's do this. Wind speed and the direction, importance of in world weather. Okay, so let's read this particular Wikipedia. Okay, wind speed is a fundamental quantity moving at high from high to low. So basically, it's telling when pressure decreases from high to low. So what will happen? Basically, wind speed will increase. And this happens because of change in temperature. Wind speeds is now commonly measured as a anemometer. Okay. Wind speeds affect weather forecasting, aviation, maritime operations. Okay. So see here what we have done here, that if basically there is a change in the pressure, okay, if the pressure is changing from high to low, right? Okay, now here question says that, right, what is a normal pressure? Okay, can anybody tell me what is the value of normal pressure? 1 kilo pascal. Okay, Prashad is telling it's 1 kilo pascal. Okay. Pressure would be depend on altitude, right? Yes, it will differ. 1 bar. Okay. Okay. Range of, so what I'll do, range of normal atmospheric pressure. Okay, so value of normal atmospheric pressure. Okay, in kilopascal. It's 101.325. So this is the normal pressure condition. Okay. Normal ATM, yes, correct. Okay. So if you see here, this is almost basically it's telling about the normal pressure only, right? Now, what we are analyzing? We are analyzing about the wind. So wind speed, basically how it is considered. Okay. So the third, so relative, we have already done it. So it says that, okay, difference in pressure causes increase in speed of wind. Okay, so that means basically if pressure reduced from high pressure to low pressure or certain value to, so let's assume this point. Okay, from this point, if it is decreasing to certain pressure, see here, basically we are getting change in the speed of the wind here, right? See here, once the pressure, initially this was the pressure, now pressure is this, so we got a change in the speed. Yes, wind speed is proportional to the difference in pressure. Correct. Right. Now, wind speed can decide a weather condition, but we could see here the direct relation here. What is that? If wind speed is increasing or decreasing, that means there is a difference in the pressure, right? Can difference in the pressure, what kind of weather it can cause? Okay. So what I'll do, difference in atmospheric pressure changes the weather. Okay, so this is my thing I want to understand. So how does weather change when atmospheric pressure changes? Okay, as air descends, it warms and contracts, which reduces or prevents the formation of clouds. Because of this effect, areas of high pressure often creates clear and dry weather. Okay, so it's telling if the pressure is high, right? So that time there will be the weather will be clear, right? Okay. Yes, Sumit. See here, we what I'm doing here. I have wrote my task here. Analyze the feature in such a way that it can help me understanding the weather trend. So here my weather trend is this. Okay. Okay. Can anyone quickly tell me how basically atmospheric pressure changes can cause in the weather conditions, or which kind of conditions prevails when we have basically pressure decreased or increased? It's telling high pressure. So in high pressure, we have clear and dry weathers, right? How much does atmospheric vary with weather? Generally, okay. Lower the pressure, we have colder the temperature. Okay, so it Sumit also confirmed. I confirmed the same. What I confirmed, basically, if pressure is high, we will have clear weather. If pressures are low, basically it will be the colder temperature. Okay. So colder temperature, we know that from this analysis, colder temperature leads to the basically cold conditions, cold climatic condition, right? So let me write this as well. Oops. Okay. Pressure or atmospheric pressure. It says high the pressure, clear, and lower the pressure, cool to freezing weather. Okay, so this is what we concluded. Okay, warm to hotter. Okay, so basically increase in temperature also happens here. When we have high pressure, increase in temperature. Okay, so this is another weather condition, that skies will be clear, that is a condition, but the temperature will also increase. Right. So Mohammed has given me this particular information. I have just written it. Okay. Now, can you tell me whether the way in which I have analyzed the features was clear to you? Simple question is what? If you can answer what, then everything falls into place, right? The source which we are taking to get the information, and how authentic is this, you can just check, just write the question in the Google, first two slides, and just see, you can find, right, that the site is providing us the correct information. Okay, right, I'll share this with you. You can just write it in the notebooks. Okay, can I get confirmation, right, on Ajulan, Ankita, Fayaz, Mahesh, Niharika, Purbi, whether this is clear to you guys? Okay. Clear. Niharika. Okay, good. Fine. Now, so we have clear idea what are the features. Now let's talk about the data, right? Which is very, very important. Okay, as clear as today's weather. Let me see whether today's weather. Hey, it's cloudy near in my area. Okay. Okay. Now we will start with the data analysis. Now we have understood the domain. Now go ahead and see the data, right? So let me call my data again here. So data dot head, and this is the data which I want to analyze, right? Now, if you could see here, this is a weather data, and it has been recorded, what is the frequency in which the observations are recorded? Okay, my question was, guys, can you tell me what is the frequency in which the observations has been recorded? Just do little data analysis or use some certain functions. Okay, so it's telling hourly, correct. In every 1 hour, it has been collected. Okay, but we are just seeing the first 5 rows here, guys. Like, let's go ahead and first convert this. Okay, if you call, okay, I hope everyone knows this function. What is the function? Data dot date slash time dot info, right? If I call this function, oops, sorry, not like this, right? See here, the date time is have a data time of object. Okay, so whenever you receive any kind of what we can say as date time or date features, right? And if you want to, because see here, this particular date time is important with respect to weather, right? And if you feel that the that particular date time is important for your analysis, you must convert it into the date format. Okay, so what we will do, we will use pandas method, that is to underscore date time, to convert the data type of date time feature here, right? So I'll do it quickly. And again, if I call info function, see here, the date time has been changed. Okay, so date time 64 has been taken. Now I can easily work. Why I did this? Because my entire analysis is based on the date time only, right? Now, what I'll do, I want to know what are the basically months and dates that has been captured here. Okay, so we'll start with the day. Okay, so from date time, import date time as dt. So date time is a package. I hope everyone knows this, right? And in this, I'm creating a new column. Okay, let me call it as a day, right? And I'm calling dt.day. Okay, so let's see this. Okay. If I go here, it's telling day 1, right? So basically it's telling it's the day 1 here. Okay, now if I want to create another, what I can say, okay, another parameter called as month. Okay, and I need to call the attribute month, right? And let's see the date parameter data here. Okay, so see here, I got the month also, right? So what I did here, I'm just breaking this particular date into day, month, and the next will be basically the year. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm doing this, right? So I felt that date, basically here the date plays and the time plays super important role, right? So that is why. Okay, year. So let me call it as a year. Okay, and let's call this and see this. Okay, now see here, day, month, and year, right? Now let's go ahead and analyze certain thing over here. What is that? Let's do the value counts on day. Okay, so see here 1, 2, 29, 28, 25. So basically, if you see here, till 31st means entire month day has been covered, right? In a month, we will have either 30 days, 28 days, or 31 days, right? Similarly, we can check on month, right? So we have 12 months that are captured here. Okay, similarly, let's say year. Okay, and see here we have year here. Now, by doing this value counts, can you tell me what should I conclude here? Right, we did value counts for day, month, and year, right? And we got, finally for year we are getting 2000. So this means, okay, let me write the conclusion here. This means the data captured was for year 2012 only, okay, and on hourly basis, okay. Right, this is what conclusion I have drawn. 1 year data for every day at hourly basis. Correct, Sumit? Okay, how about others? Are you able to understand why I wrote this? Okay, now this is done. Okay, so I got a more information about the data that has been collected, right? Now let's go ahead and start with the average daily temperature, right? Okay, my first question is why I went and checked the average daily temperature. Can anybody tell me? I could take sum of the daily temperature. I could take max, min as well. But I started analyzing with average only. Because average represents the center of the data. Always remember. Okay, so that is why mostly if you go into if somebody who gets a chance to work in the weather department, mostly they will check about the averages most likely to occur. Correct, Paras? Central tendency. Correct, Sumit? Right. Now let me just import the libraries here. Okay, I'm using subplot here. Right. Now look here. First, what I did, I grouped the data by date time and then hour. Okay, because my target is to average daily temperature. Okay, and the data that has been collected is in terms of the fixed frequencies hour here. So I want to check average hourly daily temperature. Okay, so the point here will be average hourly daily temperature. And right, I first grouped the data with the help of hours, and then I called the feature called as temperature C, okay, and plotted a bar plot over here, right? So let me plot it, and I have labeled the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, now look here. Can you tell me what is the trend in the, sorry, in a day basis, okay, what is the average temperature that is getting recorded in each hour? So I can say that when it is a basically when it is a afternoon, that time we have little increase in the temperature, and that too is going maximum till 12, our average of 12 only, right? So I can say the data which has been taken, the data that has been recorded for a place which always records the minimum temperature, means it always has a cold kind of climatic conditions. Can I say that? Okay, I'll write one conclusion here, and this will help you in writing the insights. Now we will start with the very important part, that is insights, right? So I would say here, as the time increases and reaches to mid of day, the hourly average temperature is high to 12 degrees Celsius. Okay, fine. Is this clear, the insight which I have written here? When in the morning times, okay, so see here, we don't have concept of AM PM here. Okay, we have concept of basically 0 to 23. Okay, so don't consider AM PM here. When I say mid of the day, it is a PM time. See here, from 11 max temperature start increasing, and when it reaches, okay, till night, it is getting dropped here. Okay, similarly, when it is a morning times, that is specifically between 4 to 5 6, right? In this time, in this hour, basically the temperature has been recorded, the average temperature has been minimum. Okay, so this is the second observation. Can you write the second observation here? Now let's check the average weekly temperature. Okay, so for weekly temperature, what I'll call basically the day, right? Because we have 7 days in a week, so I'll call basically the weekly here. Okay, so let's see the weekly temperature. Sorry, it will be the monthly temperature, not weekly. It will be monthly. Okay. Days of the month, correct? See here. So can you tell me at which day, right? Which day of the month the temperature is low, high? It's almost, see here, basically once in this particular region, that is 21, 22, right? Here we record the maximum average temperature. And when we are here, that is the starting month of the starting day of the month, right? Little down in the temperature, but we cannot see much trend in the data as per the monthly basis. Okay, let's check how month wise the temperature changes. Okay, now see here. So basically I can say that in the month of January, February, so 1 2 represents here January and February. Okay, see here dt dot month will give you the month January, February, March, April. So in month of March, sorry, January, February, right, mostly the temperatures are in the range of negatives. Okay, but as the month increases, see here from March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Okay, so temperature keeps on increasing, and in the month of July, August, it will start reducing, because mostly in as per the what we can say as the Indian climatic condition, in the month of July, August, we receive rainfalls, right? But here that is not the case, because see here the temperatures are not going beyond 20. Okay, so it is a very cold place itself, and after that it started reducing, and in month of December it completely become in a negative temperature. Okay, now can you tell me what does this negative temperature indicates? Cool weather, correct. So basically we have chilling cold, right? Minus, right? We if we go in the minus parts, right, it will be very chilled weather. Okay, fog and freezing. Okay, right. So this is how I did the month-wise analysis in the temperature, right? Now let's do the same thing. Now if you see here, first variable I have taken here is a temperature, right? And I have done a univariate analysis with respect to time, right? Okay. Now, similarly, what we can do, we can take the next feature, that is your dew point temperature, and we can do the univariate analysis here. So first I will start with the dew point temperature, but on an hourly basis. Okay. So see here. What does this say? Dew temperature. So dew temperature is, okay, 1 minute. I can compare this with this hourly daily temperature. See here, at this point also we have dips, okay, and here also we have dip. But if the difference in the dips can cause relative humidity, and it may cause basically the precipitation. Okay, right. Can you do basically the daily what we can say as the daily average dew point analysis? Okay, average dew point daily basis. Can you do this? Dew temperature is falling in line with temperature for hourly basis. Yes, correct. That's what I analyzed there. Right? Because of this, what is happening, right? Dew temperature and the normal temperature, which is getting recorded in that particular region, right? There is a small difference. Because of this small difference, the temperature, basically the climate is mostly towards the colder side. Okay, and cold along with a more moisture in the air may possible of chance of raining as well. Okay, can we get a average dew point temperature analysis on daily basis? So where I need to change it, so simply copy this code. Okay, and what I'll do, so see here, instead of hour I'll pass day over here. That's all, right? Hour of the day, so basically day of the month. Simply change the names here and see the output. Okay, can anybody tell me what is the output over here, or what this graph is telling me? It again resembles the temperature trend. Okay, it is uncertain in nature. Okay, right. So there is no specific trend we could see here, right? But I can say, right, that on an average basis, the dew temperature of the day 6 means the sixth day of the month, and 11th day of the month, 26, 27, 28, can have lowest dew point temperature. Okay, right, guys, I'm not writing the insights here, right? I'm speaking it, right? I hope you are also writing it down. All right, so this is a average dew point temperature daily basis analysis. Can we do analysis of the same, right? That is average dew point temperature analysis on monthly basis. So nothing you have to do, you have to just copy this, and what you need to do, instead of make this month, that's all. So see here, the same as basically the temperature, right? But see here, the dew temperature reaches basically till -12, right? Okay. Now, similarly, on the same line, we can do analysis. So I have done analysis basically on the hourly basis, daily basis, and monthly basis. Can I do yearly basis analysis? I can do yearly basis analysis. Where I need to do the changes, see here. Okay, but if you see here, what you got? One bar plot only, one bar only. Why? Because in year we have only one year, that is 2012 only, right? Hence we will not be able to do the proper, there is no point of doing the analysis because it is a single year data. Okay, so it is the trend in the year we are trying to find it out. Similarly, you can find out the average relative humidity on daily basis, on hourly basis. Okay, so see here, this is the hourly basis trend. Okay, one question here, I am not doing the what we can say as daily basis and basically the monthly basis analysis. You can do it. Okay, similarly the wind speed, okay, and visibility. Okay, so it says that as the hour Basically, as the temperature, what is happening in this range, temperature start increasing, right? And in that case, what is happening? The visibility is getting increased. Okay, the average visibility. Similarly, you can analyze the pressure. But see here, what we got, the average pressure is constant here. Means pressure is not changing that much. Okay, so this is the univariate analysis which I have done. Okay, of all the features, but with respect to time, because this is a weather data, and in weather data, time is an important parameter. Without time, there is no point of analyzing or doing the univariate analysis. Okay, now we will move forward and try to understand the bivariate analysis. Bivariate analysis will be mostly focused on this particular target variable. What is that? The weather. Okay, now let's start the analysis. Now weather, if you can see, it is a categorical data. Let's calculate the value counts over here. Okay, if you see here, we have this many weather trends, okay, which are present in the given zone, okay, or from wherever this data was collected, this many weather conditions were recorded. Mainly clear, mostly cloudy, cloudy, clear, snow, rain, rain showers, fog, rain, fog. It is a combination of drizzle and fog, snow showers, drizzle, snow, fog, snow, blowing snow, rain and snow, thunderstorm, rain showers, right? So these are the weather condition that has occurred in that particular place. And it is telling for how many, basically it is the hourly data, okay, for how much hour it has been collected, okay, or it was consistent for how much hour in entire year. Right, now what I did, if you see here, right, after 116, okay, these are very lesser points, right? These are the fewer events which has occurred here. So what I did, I merged all the groups here. Okay, I merged into basically into rare events. Okay, so I took this and called weather dot replace. I used a replace function and replace it with the rare events. Now if I call basically the, okay, see here, now instead of having 50 weather conditions, I have reduced down all other rare events into rare events, and rest other I kept it in fact because they have occurred in most of the time. Okay, right, this is called as basically reducing the cardinality of the categorical data. Okay, so what I did, simply merge the events which has occurred rarely, and I called them as a rare event here. Okay, and then I started the bivariate analysis. Right, now see here, I started with the bivariate analysis. I used a rel plot here, and in the x-axis I'm providing temperature, in y-axis I'm providing the dew point temperature, and in a column parameter I'm passing weather here. Okay, data equal to data, and call wrap is equals to 4. So this parameter will make sure that I get 4 cross 4 plots. Okay, now look here. Okay, see here, can you analyze this particular plot which we have plotted, and quickly tell me what kind of, basically with respect to each weather condition, what is a temperature and what is a dew point temperature, and it is on the hourly basis. Okay, look here how to understand this. Right, you can skip the analysis on the rare event because we have combined the category. But let's look here, when weather is mostly cloudy, okay, this is basically your dew temperature and this is your normal temperature, right? So what it is telling, okay, so most of the temperature, right, most of the points if you see here, they have more, what we can say as temperature, the dew point is lesser, means the difference is huge between the dew point temperature and normal temperature. But if you go in the cloudy, what is happening, the difference is getting reduced. See here, the width I'm checking, see the width, okay, width. Similarly here as well, see the temperature, basically the dew point temperature is basically, sorry, temperature and dew point temperature, right? Temperature is getting started from 0 itself or around 1 degree Celsius. okay, in a condition of rain. Similarly, here as well, when you have rain showers, that time temperature is almost more than zero. It does not, dew temperature, basically temperature is more than zero, and even the dew temperature is more than zero. So that means if dew temperature and the normal temperature of this particular region is increased, right, is increased, okay, so that time mostly the weather will be rainy, it will rain. Okay, so this is what a conclusion here. Similarly, you can draw the conclusions from other plots as well. Okay, so y-axis is your temperature, sorry, x-axis is your temperature and y-axis is your dew point temperature. Okay, similarly, if you see the rel plot between the temperature and relative humidity, okay, so you can see the trend here. Okay, then wind speed. Okay, similarly visibility also. Right, so if you see here, I'm just using relative rel plot here, and what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to put some continuous values here, and since this is a target column, I'm putting the target column over here. And what I did here more is that, okay, first I in the x-axis I kept temperature C, right? In the next analysis, okay, what you can keep dew point, and you can check the all other parameters. Okay, so this is how the basically bivariate and multivariate analysis we are trying to do over here. Okay, fine. So can you tell me now, basically the idea of doing data analysis is clear, means what steps you have to perform here? Okay, so always remember, guys, see how to do the bivariate analysis. Bivariate analysis, okay, two variable analysis. I'm adding the third parameter here as well, that is call parameter, and putting my target variable here. Okay, so you need to understand what is the target for which you have to find out the relationship. Always put into the call parameter, and this too you can use it. Okay, so you can take each and every variable and you can vary it, but always remember, whenever we use rel plot, both x and y should be continuous in nature. Okay, then next plot, what you can use count plot. If you have discrete data, if you have categorical data, you can simply use count plot, and in the count plot you can pass the variables and you can just check them, right? So these are the few ways in which what we can say as we can start the data analysis part. Yes, Basavarada, AutoVis also you can use. So that's what I'm telling you. What approach I have taken here is not a hard and fast. You can use anything you want to use. Okay. One condition can be you can take two different data sets. That is basically from the original data set, you can create two data set which contains numerical data and other contains categorical data, and you can individually do the analysis. Okay, but the aim should be always clear that you have to get the best insights from the data. So what till now, whatever analysis we have done, I could have figured it out that, okay, for the region for which we are doing this data analysis, pressure remains the constant, and it is the temperature, dew point temperature, relative humidity, and wind speed. Okay, if this is the changing, I can see the change in the weather. This is what I have observed. Okay, all right, so this is the simple data analysis we have done. Data analysis also contains certain questions, so that means you need to ask certain questions to your data. Okay, so get all the observation when weather was clear. Can you write a code for this? Yes, definitely you can use Tableau as well. Copy paste the Tableau charts and you can paste in the notebook. That is also fine. See, it's not that's what I said. Okay, you use Tableau, BI, Power BI, anything you use, get the graphs, put it in the notebook, write the insights. Okay. Similarly, get all the observation when wind speed is more than average wind speed. Okay. Is there any null values in the data? Get all the average of the all weather parameters on a given condition. So these are the 4 questions you have to ask your data, and you need to write a code for this. Okay. Right. So that's all for today's session, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Right. And please answer this question. I have shared the data, I have shared the notebook as well. Okay, so try to answer this, and still if you are not able to get the answer, please post the query on the D Drive. I'll help you out. Okay, I'm keeping on you this because I understand the folks who have joined, they know Python, they know pandas, they know matplotlib, everything they know. Okay, right, again sharing the link for notebook. See, Tableau, Basavara, the Tableau is a visualization tool, right? You need to connect Tableau and your data. You get the graphs and copy the graphs. There is an option to copy the graphs, okay? And you can put it, just copy paste in the Jupyter notebook in Markdown cells. That's all you have to do. Okay, guys, so that's all for this session, right? If you have any question, please stay in the call and ask the question. After complete analysis, we can jump on EDA. This is what EDA was, Paras. Okay, this was a EDA only. We wrote insights, we did a complete analysis, right? So basically, EDA contains data analysis and domain analysis. Okay. No, outlier detection, removal, all these things are basically your data pre-processing. It will never come into the EDA part. Okay, those who have basically, you might be researching here and there, right? So you might be wondering, in most of the sites, what they do in the name of exploratory data analysis, they handle missing values, they handle basically outliers, and categorical imputation. No, that is not a EDA, that is data pre-processing. Okay, so in data processing, in exploratory data analysis, we do analysis on the raw data. Whatever data you have, do analysis on it, give it to your client or give it to your manager, okay, whoever is required that analysis. Okay. Okay, so please, the notebook has been shared with you. Okay, recordings will be available as per the request basis. You need to request to care team, they will be helping you out. See, Sumit, it is when I say, or when we do EDA, right? It should be in a very presentable way. You can create a separate Word document, right? You can put all the charts, copy paste the charts, and put it in a Word document, convert it into PDF. You can prepare a PDF, PPT for it also, right? So it's your choice how you want to do the presentation, right? And even in the notebooks, just the way what I did, I put a hash and I put the comments over there. That is also fine. Okay, so it's just a matter of the how you want to present it. Usually when I will go to the business, I will not take the notebooks. Usually I will keep it in a form of presentation or PPTs or slides I'll be creating. And if I want to share it across the team, I'll take a PDF, I'll create a separate document and I'll share with the team, right? So this is how I do it. Okay, anyone having any other questions? After EDA, do we have to explain it? See, Vivek, what usually happens in interviews, the question is getting asked on what was your data, basically the story behind the data, right? You can tell that. when a interviewer asks you explain the project you have done, first you have to tell them the data analysis you have done it. After then we will talk about the model creation, the feature engineering, the data pre-processing, we have done it. The first point you have to start is EDA, and you have to explain the EDA, what was the trend in the EDA, right? Okay, so Basavaraja, this is not the platform to get doubts from your project side. The best way is to put it on the D tribe. I'll help you out. Okay. Already, team, thank you so much for listening to me, right? I know this is a long weekend, right? Yeah. So happy weekend. Do give more emphasis on doing the analysis part, right? And then focus on the modeling part, right? Thank you so much for joining this session. Good day.